All right, we're back. Welcome back, everybody. If you can just let me know that you can hear me okay, we'll be starting here in a few minutes. Testing 1, 2, 3. All right, thank you, Mark. Nice to see you, Mark. All right. So we've got another, well, a little less than 3 minutes to go. Then the report will come out. In case you are unfamiliar with how this works, I will be following the chart on the right, the counterpunch chart. That's the one I like to trade during this session. On the bottom left corner is the 8-tick momentum bar with Spotlight Master Suite, another excellent choice. And then I decided to start showing the unleaded gas chart with Spotlight as well in the upper left corner, just to give you guys another alternative. This is also a chart that performs well with the crude oil inventory report. So we wait 2 minutes, right? The report comes out. A little less than 2 minutes to go, and then once it comes out, we wait 2 minutes, and then we'll start looking for our first trade. All right, so most of you know this, and some of you may have not seen this yet. So if you haven't ever traded this before, it's highly recommended that you practice first. It can go rather quickly, and you really need to be resolute, clear, strong, well-skilled with your trade plan, all that stuff for trading this report. We've been doing it the same way for years. I will say, though, it's been a while since we've seen crude oil trading in the $80 a barrel range. I meant to comment on that earlier. When the price gets this high up, apart from like feeling it at the gas pump, which isn't any fun, the trade sizes tend to get larger and larger, and that's usually good for our trading. So we've got about 40 seconds to go. Be interesting to see how volatile the reaction is with prices up at this level. And there it is. Kind of looking like it used to on the good old days. So there's our reaction. Now we're going to wait our 2 minutes. Well, it's still reacting, of course. I like to mark the boundaries of our reaction. So we'll mark the low end because that's pretty well established here. We'll see where the top end of this reaction ends. The initial reaction. Interesting how Counterpunch gave you the setup, and then the market now looking like it's trying to hit some targets up here. But this is when you don't want to be trying to trade. It looks nice, but you often cannot get filled where you want to get filled. You don't know if anyone will take the other side of your trade. You want to wait your 2 minutes because you could easily lose control of your trade through a news event like this. Whoops. So we'll have a really good range here. Can't even see what that is. 81.80 to 82.60. So it's like an 80-cent range, which is interesting with an $80 a barrel price point. And we're another 20 seconds. We'll start looking to take a trade. There is a setup we may have to get in sync with. It would be short at 82.42, so we'll keep an eye on that. It's a small trade, considering the range we've been seeing. And now we have a new trade. We always go with the new trade. So the short trade now becomes 82.34. 82.34 targeting 82.19 and the stop at 82.51. It may cancel. Trade is still valid. We're looking at the dark green trade here. And it did get filled. Money management on this trade will be at 82.25, one tick past target one. I'm going to mark it right here. And we're almost there. If we can get past the 25-cent number, that's usually a tough number to get through. It did bounce off at 27. Boy, that white trade ended up being perfect. Let's see if we can get another leg lower. We always go with the newest setup. Uh-oh. See if our 50-cent level can contain this price. It's looking like it wants to go higher. Yep, stopping out, unfortunately. Usually when you get these clusters of setups all in the same direction, that's usually a good sign, but in this case, did not work. Looking for the next trade here. Yeah, so the way the bars are landing on the chart, no real chance to get long. Unleaded gas performing well up in the upper left corner. Could get another short setup. This could be another white trade to the short side if we get this bar closing down here. Looks like it will be. So far looking like a setup could be at 59. Testing the high end of the range here. You can see resistance becomes support, and there is your short at 5.9. And that is targeting 43, and the stop is at 77. And it did just get filled. Money management on this trade is at 49, target 1. So hopefully we have a little better luck here. Well, this market is intent upon going up. Let's see if we can hold. Well, this trade looks doomed to me as well. Things might not be going our way here. If anyone wants a third trade, it would be long at 78. So far we're hanging on by a thread, but it looks like this trade will stop out. And long at 78, targeting 83.02, and stop at 82.57. If anyone's taking another trade. Breaking out to new highs of the day. Actually, it just made the new high of the day at 76. Looks like it's going to break through here, and it just did. Unfortunately, guys, those two shorts, well, counter trend trades are not going to work in the face of a strong trend. This is looking like it wants to go higher. So anyone wanting to take that next trade, 82.78 is the long. Seem to be a little bit out of step and out of sync today. But this trade could work. You guys all have to decide what to do. Usually we're winning quicker than this, but sometimes it does take more trades. 82.78, targeting 83.02. Stop is at 82.57. And money management is at 82.93. If it gets there, you would move your stop to break even, +1. Spotlight got short and then flipped to long, and that long's still going. So you can see the difference in a momentum bar versus a tick chart and how Spotlight works differently than Counterpunch. In the lower left corner. So Spotlight got short here. Had to flip over to long here and then proceeded to hit target 1. And it looks like it just missed target 2. Or did it? Yeah, missed it by a tick, I think. 84 got as high as 83. It's still going. Johnny, no, I'm not. I don't do that. I'll mark my chart with arrows, and I can go back and look at my chart, and I'll know where to put those trades in the spreadsheet. I'm not saying you shouldn't do that. I mean, some people probably do exactly what you're asking about. It's just not something I do. I use different ways of journaling and keeping track. Well, that's a stop and reverse on crude oil again, adjusting down to 67. If you're in the long trade, you're going to want to move your stop to 67, whether you intend to take the short trade or not. It's a small trade. At some point, it's just time to call uncle and quit. Although after 3 losers, the 4th trade's usually a winner. And anyway, this trade is still going, and that short trade just canceled. So the long trade's still going, the short trade's canceled. This is our money management level. See if we can get there. Strong rally. Crude seems intent upon hitting the $100 a barrel level. I don't know if you guys are thinking the same. That's kind of the sense I'm getting. It just hit money management. Move your stop. Lock in your 1 tick on this long trade. Stops move to 82.79. This trade will really help if it can get to a target 2. It's a larger trade than the other 2. 24 ticks, $240. If it can get there. In the lower left corner, Spotlight Power Trader and Master Suite is past its target 2, now pushing towards target 3. That stop's still moving. That stops at 69. Again, an 8-tick momentum bar is quite a bit different than the tick chart. I actually like the momentum bars more. I often wrestle with the idea of switching from counterpunch to spotlight with this crude oil report. I've just been using counterpunch for so many years, but I'm often tempted. One of these days I probably will make the switch. And counterpunch has worked well for so long, it's hard to let it go. Not counting today's session so far, of course. Well, the session's not over yet. Move your stop up to 82.82. Hoping it will hold, but looking like it's going to stop out here. Maybe not. And it did just stop out. So, tough session. Couldn't get more than a few ticks out of that long trade there. And that's pretty much where I throw in the towel, guys. There is a short trade, so if anyone wants another trade, it's short from 82.79. I usually will walk away when it seems like we're a little out of sync with what's actually happening, and I don't think that counterpunch is actually in sync with this session. Clearly with the short trades, missing the winning trade. If the white trade would have been one and done. But the rule has always been go with the newest trade. And at that point in time, that might have actually prevented getting short, which in hindsight would have been good, I guess, because the market just went straight up, but it still went down a little bit further, far enough to hit the target on the white trade, which was unexciting to start with at only 13 ticks to target too. But, it's one of those things where you just stick with your trade plan rules that you've been doing for so long, and the rule has always been go with the newer trade. So it just didn't work out. And then there's no way to get long because there are no counterpunch setups, which is unusual because usually there's so many setups. But in this case, there just weren't any because the histogram, in order to get a reversal white trade to the long side, we needed the histogram to at least get into the red. So for that reason, no long trade. There was a long trade on Spotlight, but that's because it's an 8-tick momentum bar and it's based on the proximity of our exhaustion to the 50 moving average. Totally different. Worked great. Counterpunch doesn't have that. So it's just out of sync. It's out of sync. And then a little pullback here, and that was an unfortunate short trade. There's no way to know. It failed to make a new high right here. Had another set of exhaustion dots even. And this trade could have very easily have worked, but today it didn't. And then it broke out to new daily highs and kept on going, but couldn't get past its first target. Pulled down, stopped out. This short trade could very well work. It's only 13 ticks again. But that's what happened. Yeah, maybe the new micro is affecting the price. Pamela, I hadn't thought of that. It is possible. By the way, this short trade did just hit its money management and the stop has moved down. This one could very well work. It's only 13 ticks. Pretty small trade. But after the 3 losses in a row, you would think, well, the 4th trade probably has high odds of winning. I just get a sense that it's a little bit out of sync. But it looks like the market is finally dipping into the red here, down on the histogram. Looks like there could be some downside pressure now. Anyway, that's a wrap, guys. Sorry it didn't work out as well as we would have liked. Of course, if you were trading Spotlight, you might be quite happy. And if you like the way unleaded gas looks, that's something that could be worth pursuing. Something else to trade with this report. Yeah, Catapult got it with the 8 momentum for sure. And here's the winning trade, of course, after 3 losers in a row, the 4th trade coming down. With a small winner, I mean, you know, that may have helped a little, but if you took all 4 trades, that 4th trade, you'd be better off if you had taken it rather than not. Just keep note of that. Usually with 3 losers in a row, the odds are the 4th trade is not going to lose because you don't see 4 losses in a row very often. Could happen. All right, guys. I will most likely see you again on Monday. You'll need to check on the YouTube channel to see if that gets scheduled. I'm still not 100% positive, but at this point I am planning on doing the Monday session. So I hope you all have a wonderful day and a wonderful rest of your week and weekend, and I look forward to seeing you then. Bye, everybody.